No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
I'm just trying to reason.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
Ele morreu, né?
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
Não dá pra usar.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
You two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I?
Ele tá sem a
Anyway,
cicatriz, sem a nada.
Let's get back to the business at hand.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night
Eu
we went
reparei.
into the Hawkins
Sem a
mansion.
cicatriz.
You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Normal, né?
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Francis Sanders.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, and chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes, I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan, and I'll prove it to you.
Oxe, é só
I'm
invadir.
listening,
E
Mr.
pronto.
Pierce.
Nem precisa disso, não. Oxe.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
A cabeça desse tamanho. A diferença aí, pô, deu por cima.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders? I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
A zoada.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
Baker.
This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Muito squad.
May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings.
Oh, filmes.
Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Morreu gritando, caralho.
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Segurar para testar é louco.
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital quite by chance.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see you in such fine fettle, Detective. Not everybody enjoyed such a prompt recovery.
I suppose Fuller does do miracles now and again.
Luck is obviously very kind to you. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Oxi.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself,
Aceito.
if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long. The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives. Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Sei lá, parece que isso.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? Ah! The Shambler. I need to see it. Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Só isso.
I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Ah, baleia,
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Não posso ser a arquiteta da sua queda. Informa, cara amiga, esqueça o andarilho.
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Uma enciclopédia de criaturas monstruosas e desconhecidas. Estou começando a acreditar na existência deles. Ah, só tem isso. Caralho.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others.
É, pois é.
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Preciso verificar os quadros. Tá bom.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go. But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
Ah, com certeza.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder. Go take a hike, Detective.
Vai dar pra se esconder aqui.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Tem dinheiro, né?
Why was he so interested in old weapons? The public entrance to the gallery.
Tá lá o bendito quadro.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Não olhe diretamente pra ele.
What the hell was that?
Examinar.
What the hell was that? That thing came out of this painting. There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it. That thing came out of this painting. There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it.
Destrói, caralho.
That thing came out of this painting. There has to be a link. Maybe if I destroy it.
quadro tá na tua frente. O cachorro destrói o quadro. Mas não. Missão. Dá aquela adaga reta.
What the hell was that? Damn. Did it hear that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
Ah, mano, como é que ele me viu eu entrando aqui? Tomar no teu... Frescuragem da porra.
What the hell was that? Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger. Damn it! This dagger didn't work.
papel também. Fudeu.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
Silêncio.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Yeah.
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.
Vou empurrá-lo já.
Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning. Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary. The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers placed truth on the same footing as a religion. What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge.
Cataloga as criaturas de que nunca ouvi falar, divindades, dados estranhos, criaturas capazes de viajar em uma dimensão sobre a outra. Ela se apresenta como uma obra de referência do bestiário do mito, sendo a detalhe da mitologia para se referir às suas páginas e começa com ilustrações de futuro.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work. Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins?
Ah, não. Caralho, maluco, viagem.
What's happening to Hawkins?
Fiquei doido lá.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Não restará dúvida que estou em apuro. Minha única esperança é que meu corpo esteja nesse plano da realidade. Eu sei que queimado. A urna funerária deve ser entregue à minha querida mãe. Sei que quem for para essa palavra seja tão presente quanto eu para obter o meu pé. Ele está no meu cofre. É possível encontrar as pistas da combinação em 3 cilindros. Cada um escondido onde a vida e o estudo se cruzam no mundo grego. Cada cilindro está numerado, embora seja como o grande autor disse, a ordem é o prazer da razão, mas a desordem é o deleite da imaginação. De fato, apesar da minha preferência pelo caos organizado, devo admitir que a determinação prevalece. Por acaso uma pessoa, ou melhor, um gênio tiver inteligência à minha altura e encontrar a combinação do cofre, eu gostaria de entregar os conteúdos dele a meu amigo, colega professor Armitage da Universidade de Michigan. Para que isso não é não só o conteúdo do cofre ao baixo capacidade de conhecimento, como também uma arma empregada de maneira errada.
What a strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
Tô tocando.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Ladrão.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. Arkham editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. Things are not looking good. A kind of chalice.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
Cálice.
The chalice of knowledge.
Não tô vendo nada nesse cálice.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
The Queen has little protection.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Não tem nada, só tem a porra do IX.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Era isso mesmo.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake was... What did Drake say about this collection?
O IX não é 9 não. Deixa eu ver aqui. É, o 9 é IX. Então é esse mesmo.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Não tem nada aqui, 9. Que é 9 e 3.
The chalice of knowledge.
É 4. Tem esse risco. Só errei um. Era 5, não 4. Três, 5, 9 nasce. Ué. Oxi. Tinha botado essa porra. Ah, porra. Vamos pro submundo, né? Pior que vai dar meia-noite já. Vai ficar na porra. Eu vou encerrar hoje aqui mesmo. Pelo menos fica no sétimo capítulo hoje. Já salvo.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr.
Ué, sou eu
Blake,
ali.
can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema.
Então fala que ia encerrar por aqui, né? Então. GG. Continua. Valeu aí por quem tava aí. Hoje rendeu. Hoje deu bom. Até amanhã. Valeu, falou.